Robin.
What's
Oh,
up?
I can't believe this is happening. This is so cool. We had you on a year ago, almost to the day. The world ended since then, but we're still standing.
Oh, wait. Did I miss the memo? The world is still going on. I missed that part.
No, I don't. I've been locked away in the studio, Robin. I haven't gone anywhere. How are you? It's so good to do it because we've had you on before, and we've always done the
Thanks, dude.
phoners.
How are you? Are you
This is
well?
so cool. I'm so good, and I'll tell you right off the top, man. The last show I saw was Raiding the Rock Vault
Wow.
in February, and you know,
2020?
yeah, just this last February we came and I brought my girlfriend. We met you afterwards, and her daughter, who's like 21, you're now her favorite singer in the world. You took her to meet the whole band and everything. That was such a special experience. And then I haven't been to a show since then. It's almost been a year.
Well, March 4th was my last show in Vegas, and the whole madness started very soon afterwards. And during that small interval, we had a sold out Japan tour with Schenkerfest, which of course got canceled, and we were transitioning into Europe, into the UK, other parts of Europe. Of course, that was canceled, rescheduled, canceled. So, well, here we are, and I got to be home a lot longer than I anticipated, and my honey-do list just continues to grow, man.
what I mean, it's a loaded question, but what's the last year been like for you? Because I know that you've been involved in several projects. You have, and I want to touch on this, you have a solo album coming out this year, yes?
I do. In fact, just approved a video script this morning. Over the weekend, just approved the CD cover artwork. And I start shooting some photos and video this weekend. First, just a little insight. So the first, there'll be an official press release February 25th with artwork and the first single off the solo CD, followed by a second single in April, followed by the actual drop date, May 7th.
That's so exciting, Robin. I can't wait, man. I saw
Well,
Frontiers.
I didn't want to do it, just so you know. The label called me and they were going, hey, we think you should fill up this sort of in-between time of the Black Swan. There will be a new Black Swan. We haven't started, but we will start very soon. And they said, it'd be good to keep the momentum. And I'm going, but I don't want to. Why do I want to do a solo record? And who wants to hear a solo record? And what would I do on a record? I've only ever done one other solo record 1,000 years ago. And I've never given solo records any much thought. And long story endless, I had no idea where to start, what to do. One of my initial discussion with the label was, why would I want to do more of the same? That's basically all I said. And they said, well, so what do you want to do? And I said, well, not more of the same. I'd like to, make a left turn somewhere and do something a little bit different that I can have fun with. And they went, nah, that's not what people know you for. And I'm going, people don't know me, period. Okay. So what would it make? It wouldn't make any difference. Anyway, break out the violins. I was talking to my good buddy, Tony Franklin, and I went, hey, Tony, you want to write a couple of tunes? Do you know anybody who writes songs that, would want to write a song with me? And he goes, so he starts kicking out some names, and I put together a bunch of songs. And then I had an idea, people keep asking me, dude, will there ever be another Grand Prix record? And I went, not as long as I'm alive, probably. But I have, fortunately, had the pleasure of bumping into Phil Lanzon a number of times out with Uriah Heep. And I know Phil is pretty active on that corner. So I got a hold of Phil and I went, hey, dude, this is most likely never going to be a Grand Prix reunion. How about we write a couple of tunes together? And it's kind of a little, so we did that. And then before I know it, I have 15 or 16 songs that I can pick 12 from. And so we picked 12 and here we are. Of course, it's groundbreaking, man. I want you to know.
It's just like the old stuff. It's a throwback. No, you sell yourself short, Robin, because I mean this when I tell you, and I'm looking you right in the eye this time. You're the best singer, and you're the best rock singer of all time. And I mean that. I'm telling you that right now. Those MSG records, Perfect Timing is one of my favorite albums of all time. I've seen you now with Raiding the Rock Vault. I've seen you with Shankerfest. You have made such an impression on so many people, including, like I said, my girlfriend's 21-year-old daughter who listens to The Weeknd and Post Malone. You're now her favorite singer. So you're impacting the younger generation now too, man.
Well, that's just awesome. Tell her I said thank you very much. And I don't take that lightly. I appreciate it very, very much.
Well,
I'm fortunate, Clint, to continue to love what I do. I just love being involved. My wife says, for God's sake, do something, because you are the worst person. You're the worst patient to be around if you're not doing your music. And I'm going,
I don't believe it.
So I do need a kick. And I thank the label for giving me a kick. As I said, it's totally groundbreaking.
It's going to be great. Robin, we're so excited. You're wearing a Black Swan shirt. You brought it up at the outset. You said last year when we talked, you said, this is a strong quote from you. You said, this is the best thing that I've ever done.
Yeah.
Black Swan, shake the world.
And I still stick by that. It's simply because, the sound, the production, the writing, we were in a very focused, fun sort of mood and I think it reflected that. It's powerful. And I've worked with so many different producers, and Jeff Pilson probably hit the nail on the head with me, got me the best vocal sound I personally think I've ever had. Just up. And he goes, I'm not going to make you sound like this or that. You're going to sound like you. This is going to be you singing. And nobody ever really approached that aspect of my voice before. And I'm going, well, it's going to be what it is. And he goes, that's why we're doing this. And it was a great record to make. Sounds great. I still love it. It's still one of my favorite records, and it's definitely my favorite band.
Well, it's a great bunch of guys. How important kind of at your age is it to work with people that you get along with? I mean, you talk about Jeff Pilson. He's been on this show so many times. He's a dear friend. Matt Starr, Red Beach, who we just had on a couple months ago. I love all those guys dearly. How important is it to just work with people that you like being around?
Oh, dude, imagine if you were going into your office. Imagine you're going in and sitting behind your desk there, right? And there's a guy sitting to your left or your right. You're going, this guy brings me down, man. I'm not feeling the energy. I'm not feeling the positive vibes or whatever it is. I don't like to be around negativity. It's just not who I am. Never been who I am. I like, there's enough misery. Why do I want to be miserable?
Absolutely.
And why do I want to be sitting beside somebody who's even more miserable? So I like good positive energy. And I think once you are surrounded by that, it comes out of the pores, it's just, I'm not the first person to say that, but forget the negative. There's enough negativity,
What's the vibe been like? Because I know you've done the Shankerfest tour all over the world for the last few years, and you had obviously another one canceled. What's it been like doing that with Michael? You've got other singers involved, guys like Gary Barden, Graham Bonnet doing all this. What is that? Do you prefer that where you can come out and do sort of a set of your own, or is it difficult to not be, the main guy out there singing all the songs?
No. I don't need to be the main guy. And for years, as part of the McAuley Schenker, we'd go out and do the McAuley Schenker material, but because of the fan base Michael has, we'd have to venture into UFO catalog. We'd have to venture into early Gary and Graham territory, and the Michael's fans expect to hear everything, no matter who's singing it. And Michael's has always been in that position where he brings in multiple vocals over a period of time. And when Schenkerfest came up, and they asked me if I wanted to do it, I didn't have to think twice. I mean, instead of me singing Gary's songs or Graham's song, I'm up there with them as they're singing their own, and I actually have the honor of singing a backing vocal. And we had an absolute blast. I mean, we had a blast. A 2.5, 3 hour show sometimes. And then we brought Doogie in, or Michael brought Doogie in. And so we venture into the Temple of Rock material, and I get to sing backups there as well. And now he has, actually this Friday, I believe, will be the release of Michael's new record, Immortal, where he has Ronnie Romero, he has Jolene Turner, and he has Ralph, I can never pronounce his last name, from Primal Fear on there, and Michael Voss on there, who also produces. And this is his 50th anniversary record. And Gary and Graham and myself and Doogie are only on one track on this record, which is In Search of Peace of Mind. And I'm only on the and I try right on the end. That's as much as you get from me.
That's as much as you need. That was incredible. I was hoping to hear more from you, honestly, on this album. I got an advanced copy of it, and it's actually really good. I love all the singers, but I have this soft spot for the late 80s, the early 90s, MSG, McAuley Schenker Group. That's my MSG, honestly, because that's how I got introduced to the band, was songs like Bad Boys and Anytime and all these songs. Like
those are good times.
Yeah. How did you meet Michael? I don't think I know this story.
Oh dear. Grand Prix and Michael Schenker Group used to share the same record label back in London, Chrysalis Records. So we were stablemates, first and foremost. We, Grand Prix, were doing some warm-up shows to, I think, tour with Sammy Hagar on the Standing Hampton record. And we did a warm-up show in London, and I got a nudge up on stage, hey, look who's in the audience. So Schenker's out there with Chris Lynn, bass player. Mm-hmm. Andy Nye was on keys at the time. And Cozy Powell, the great Cozy Powell. And they were all standing sort of watching and listening to the show. And the very next morning, which it was a Sunday night show morning, Monday morning, I had a call from Cozy's press person. And she goes, Michael was at the show last night. And I went, yeah, like you could miss him, you know. And he's rehearsing right now. And he was very impressed, and he would love you to come down to the rehearsal room and jam with them. And I went, well, I can't do that because I'm leaving for tour tomorrow with Grand Prix, and we'll be gone for, I don't know what, we're gone 3-4 weeks or something. And I got so much bad press from that one conversation because I was called a young Irish upstart, and how could I possibly refuse to go and jam, not even join, jam with Michael Schenker, you know, an offer that most people would die for. Mm-hmm. And I went, well, it's just not that easy. You know, I have commitments. What am I supposed to do? Go, hey guys, I'm not coming on tour. I'm going to the rehearsal room, right? And there was no more about it. No more. I never actually spoke to Michael. And then over the next 3 years or something like that, I ended up in Germany, in Frankfurt, with a studio project called Far Corporation. Bobby Kimball and myself were part of it. We did a remake. It wasn't our decision. We had nothing to say. We just, you know, followed the leader. And, of course. Right. And we did a remake of Stairway to Heaven that went top 10 in the UK. I think it sold about 2 million singles. I think we hit number 5 or number 8, something. Anyway, Rudolf Schenker heard the single on the radio. You couldn't escape it. It was on 24/7, round the clock. It was huge in Europe. Rudolf played it to Michael. He says, we need this guy. Michael goes, already approached him 3 or 4 years ago, and he said no. And he's the singer from Grand Prix, and so. And I think Rudolph and the management, they said, contact him. So they tracked me down. I was actually out on a promotional tour in the UK. They tracked me down, found out where I was, found out what days I was off, and booked a flight to Hanover. And I said, I'm not going to Hanover, dude. I'm like so busy. And I wasn't dissing him. It was just, I never, and this is the gods, it's an old story. I never saw myself as the singer for Michael Schenker Group. I just wasn't my bag. I didn't think the material would suit me. And I thought this would be bad for Michael and not good for me either, because I'd be doing something that I didn't feel comfortable with. And just, you know, I know my limitations, and I went, this would be terrible for him, you know? And I was very familiar with what he did, you know? Obviously being stablemates. Anyway, I ended up in Hanover.
Yeah, exactly right.
I ended up in Hanover on a Saturday, that the very same weekend when they tracked me down, and I was there Saturday night, all day Sunday, and into Monday. And we wrote a couple of things, and I sang mostly Gary's material, and then listened to some new stuff that he had at Rudolph's studio in Hanover. And about a week or something, I'm back in London. I'm living in London, obviously. And Michael called me, and he said, we had a talk with the management, and you were the last of 17 singers, and Klaus and Rudolph and all the management have listened, and I would like you to be my new partner. And I went, huh?
Okay.
And that's really where it went. And then the rest I won't get into, you know, with the McAuley Schenker. That was all his idea. It wasn't my idea. Stupid mistake. But anyway, yeah, I don't need to have my name up on the, it's not that important to me.
Well, it just fit. You have the last name. It starts with M, MSG. It
Well,
just
that's
works.
what he said.
It works.
That's what he said. He says, yeah, you know, Mug, M. And I said, yeah, but Gary's name doesn't start with an M, you know? He goes, no, mine.
It works. Hey, that's how I learned who you were. I'm so glad it worked out that way. And the rest is history.
Yeah. But, you know, it was fun. You know, we were in a bag where, you know, you were supposed to write something for radio, and I got slammed. I'm really sorry for that, because, you know, I changed the Schenker because I was writing commercial melodies. Anyway.
And those songs live on Hair Nation XM exponentially. You can't go a day without hearing any time. It's great. It lives on. Before we let you go, Robin, we got to talk about Raiding the Rock Vault, which is one of my favorite shows. Every time I'm in Vegas, I'm there. Again, that was the last show I've been to last February. So what are you guys kind of hearing? Is there any talks of maybe trying to get it ramped up? I know Sir Harry Cowell is a great man and to be trusted.
Yeah, he's locked down. He's locked down in the UK. He can't go anywhere. Hasn't seen his family in a couple months.
Oh, that's terrible.
Because of the restrictions. And now, of course, they have a new mutant strain out of the UK. As a result of how far we went with Rock Vault in Vegas during this mad period, we actually, you know, the voting went on, and we actually, for the 7th consecutive year, got best of Vegas in our category. So somebody likes the show. People to come to it. They, you know, it's an all ages thing. They just have a lot of fun. There's no pretense. There's no backing tracks. It's just us. And who would have thought 7 years later that old ship would still be sailing? But we have a blast doing it. To answer your question, until all restrictions are lifted, Vegas, not just Rock Vault, but Vegas is in that wait and see period. I don't know the answer directly, but I don't see anything happening till certainly towards the end of the year. There is some talk that Rock Vault might tour. What that entails, I'm not completely sure. We did do a show Christmas of last year. In December, we went to London for a bunch of shows. We were there for 5 days. I think we did 3 shows, and it was very successful. Just to get the get the feelers out and see how the promoters liked it. So Vegas will continue to be in that sort of hurry up and wait thing till it's safe to do so. No rooms open, nothing like that. Some of the guys have tried, live stream, and by the time they got to do that, more restrictions were piled on them. And so what would have been like 50 people in a room became 25 in a room, and just this thing needs to go away, man.
Yes.
Needs to go away.
God, does it ever?
I don't know who to believe anymore. Is it as bad as they say it is? People are dying. I have doctor friends, and
Sure.
and there is no question about it that people are dying. But a lot of the people that die have a lot of, unfortunately, underlying pneumonia or respiratory. People have been a little stupid, a little careless.
Fair.
I hate those masks. I wear it. Wear the mask. Should be wearing a mask now, man. Shouldn't I?
Hey, we're masks off.
We're maskless.
This is
we're
perfect.
Maskless.
Feels good to have one off for a second.
Yeah, but it's funny when I'm out and I grocery store and I wear a mask. I end up coughing because whoever said breathing your own CO2 was a good idea?
I agree with you there. Robin, I'm going to tell you, next time we're out there, we got to come. We got to say hi in person. It's been too long, man. So
please do.
It's, I'm coming out in April.
Shirt, by the way.
Heck, Hey, I don't know if this is the place to be right now. I'll just leave it at that. I think you're in probably a better place than California is right now. Before we let you go, got to hit you with our final 4 drum roll, which is 4 quick questions, and you give us whatever comes to mind. It'll be fun. It might be invasive. It might make your wife Gina mad at you and me. I don't know. We'll see where it goes.
Nervous now, man.
Okay, now we'll start with an easy one. What show or shows have you been able to catch up on Netflix or whatever during this last year?
Oh man, so we watched The Crown, which is always very interesting. And there's a couple if you're on AMC. There's a couple of great UK detective series. One called Marcella, which is really, really good. We're totally into vampires, so there's a new thing called something about witches. I can't remember exactly, but it's really good. It's really good stuff.
I got to seek that out. That's my style.
It's like something witches. I don't know, but it's really good. It's really good. Anything with vampires or witches, I'm all there, dude.
We know my last show as a fan that I attended was Raiding the Rock Vault. What was the last show before the pandemic started that you attended as a fan? Do you remember?
Oh dear God, I didn't really an MSG Fest.
Right, there you go.
Yeah, I actually didn't get to go to any shows at all because you guys
were 4 or 5 nights a week, right?
Rockwall was working 5 nights a week.
That's right. That makes sense.
And I just didn't even get to see a Vegas show.
Isn't that crazy? And now,
right.
We'll try this. What was the first concert you ever went to in your life growing up in the UK? What was your first show?
Oh, you Thin Lizzy.
Oh my God.
Thin Lizzy, man.
Really?
Actually, I was 12 years of age because I was born and raised in Ireland.
Sure.
Right. And Whiskey in the Jar was huge at radio, but mostly on Radio Luxembourg. You couldn't get daytime radio, rock radio anywhere, whether it's the UK or Ireland. But anyway, I got to go see Thin Lizzy as a 12-year-old. There was about less than 20 people. We were sitting cross-legged in this tiny little place. Are you ready? And this was still Phil Lynott and Brian Downey and Eric Bell.
Amazing group. Oh, wow.
Dude. Yeah. How many can say that? And then I saw Live and Dangerous at Wembley. And I actually saw, here's a good one. This will show my age. I actually saw a band called Genesis with Peter Gabriel.
Peter Gabriel, yeah.
On Foxtrot, opening up for a Scottish band called Lindisfarne.
Wow.
Beat that one.
That's an all-timer there. I gotta bow out.
Yeah. I win that one.
Amazing.
I win that one.
What is the first album that you remember buying with your own money or that you stole? Either one. No judgment.
Oh, you never heard that story? I have a great story.
Oh, no.
So I bought I bought Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Ah,
Cosmos Factory, right? And at the time, there was Up Around the Bend was a single. And so I bought the vinyl, the 12-inch, for my old girlfriend at the time, right? And I knew a couple of cuts from the record. So I took the shrink wrapping off it. I had a turntable. I stuck there, God's truth. I stuck it on there. I played it and I went, she's not getting this. And she never did. And so that was my very, very first vinyl, was Cosmos Factory.
amazing. Last one, Night to Night. What song for that you would sing at Rating the Rock Vault would get the best audience reaction night after night? I've seen the show enough. I'm going to say Eye of the Tiger for me.
Really?
What maybe Stairway?
I think Stairway was always
Okay.
more of the spectacle, because it had all the lights and it didn't matter who was playing. Howard was always up there with his Howard Leese, and it was either Doug Aldridge or Rowan Robertson or David Motto. And then if you have Hugh McDonald from Jovi on bass, you're kind of on a winner right there. And it was always a spectacle with
It is.
I think one I used to enjoy really a lot was All Right Now, Bad Company from Free with Howard, because you have Howard. Plus, I wrote a song on this solo record with Howard also. So.
Oh, amazing. This makes me miss it all that much more, Robin. We're going to get things back on track, get things back to normal. I'll be in Vegas in April. I'm going to look you up. Take care. Stay safe and stay healthy, my friend.
God bless you, my friend.
God bless
Thanks
you,
for
sir.
talking. Thank
You
you.
bet. See you soon.